Today, our guest is Miss Nidhi Nahata from Bangalore. Nidhi is founder at Just Be Cafe. Also, she is a health coach and food therapist. And about Just Be Resto Cafe, it is India's first whole food plant based vegan eatery. So, Nidhi is definitely doing a unique thing, and we are so happy to have Nidhi here. Um, so let me invite Nidhi. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining in. I have sent requests to Nidhi. Hi, Nidhi.
Hi.
So nice to have you here with us. Hope you are doing fine.
Yes, doing good. How are you doing? And
I'm doing good. Thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much.
inviting me for the show.
Our pleasure. It's so nice to have you because what you are doing is quite unique and a new thing in India, I guess. So we are so happy to bring you to the viewers through our platform.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So again, I would like to tell about Nidhi. Nidhi is founder at Just Be Cafe. Also, Nidhi is health coach and food therapist. And about Just Be Cafe, Just Be Resto Cafe is India's first whole food plant-based vegan eatery based in Bangalore. And we are so happy to have Nidhi here with us today. Um, so yes, Nidhi, to start with, we would like to know what was the motivation behind starting Just Be, and also why the name Just Be.
Yes. Just to be, I started definitely for health reason. It's a health cafe, and I was going through high cholesterol and few ailments, so I didn't want to be on medication, and I started to rebel with the doctors because they said it's alarming, and my cholesterols were 300. And so basically, to start with, I would say that I've always been a homemaker, and I have really enjoyed being a homemaker, and I think even today it's a very close role to me.
The priority.
It
Yes.
is, but it's a priority. I don't want to put it as a priority, but that's my love. I love being a homemaker. I love taking care of my home and being at home and taking care of my children. Though they have now grown up boys, they don't need me, but I still love doing things. So I've always been that. But while growing up, my children, when they got into the teens, I got into psychology, and I studied psychology for 10 years. I was mentoring, and then I became a counselor and then a therapist. And that's been till I think 2014. That's what I was doing. And around that time, when my cholesterol went high and my boys were in the 10th and the 12th, I looked for, I got to know about this retreat by Dr. Nandita Shah, Sharan organization, and they said they help reverse the diseases. And that's when I went to the retreat for 21 days. And what I saw over there was that just with food, how people were reducing their BP and sugar medicines. And that's the fastest it happens. Cholesterol takes a little more longer, but what I really felt that I was feeling much better. I always had a skin allergy and a skin called rosacea, which I suffered for almost 18 years of my life. And I saw that reducing there. I just went for cholesterol. And what I saw that what was my migraines were disappearing, my skin became better. Like I had to use so much ointments, and now not even I don't even need a sunscreen. And what else is the energy level. I didn't feel what I feel today, even when I was 20, the minute I learned what about whole food plant-based and I was eating that kind of food. Just be, I named it Just Be is because, when I was growing up with my children, sometimes with my daily chores, I needed a break. I wanted some me time, and I used to miss some space like that, where I could go and learn, where I could go and read, eat good, healthy food, spend some time with myself, and just be. Otherwise, I was always into just doing and just doing, and you don't get time to just be. And
Just being. Yeah.
yes, and so we all just need some time, that little me moment to just be. And I think that's why, because we have, a holistic studio too, along with an eatery where a lot of yoga teachers come and teach, and some people with, with their psychology, they come and give talks, and mental health. A lot of different varieties of workshops happen at our space, and my doors are open for such workshops and seminars. And we also have consultations happening. We have counselors doing, we have counselors who take the space up and do some sessions there, take up the sessions there. So overall, I try to bring a lot of elements over there, not just a eatery, because I think altogether we need a holistic lifestyle, which we
Holistic.
miss. Yes, which I think it's missing in our life. And when we go out, we don't find everything in one space. For different things, we need to go to different spaces. So we also have a sound healing room. I'm a therapist too, so we do therapies there for people. So that's been very interesting how people really connect to this name, the way you asked me, Nidhi, why Just Be? And a lot of people who keep asking me that, and I said, yeah, because I want you to spend that me moment, and just be here. So that is why this is here. Yeah.
That's so beautiful, such a beautiful thought behind it. And it is so necessary and so important in these days. And doing something at this stage when your kids are grown up, and I think that is the the empty nest syndrome. So the kids are going out, they have started with their own lives, and this is the space when women, they feel very lonely and they want to start something, they want to get back to their passion. Maybe in that some little time, what that's what even I did when my kids grew up. So, and that is the, I think this all happened to you in that 21 days course, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
that
So
was a great decision to take.
So, what happened is when I came back from so things were fantastic when I was in the retreat there, and I saw miracles happen. And I was like, how is it going to be practical when I come back home? And how am I going to do it? When I came back home, the first thing is definitely, I just want to introduce what is whole food plant based. Whole food plant based is food which is as close as to nature, like a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of legumes. We don't use anything refined. We don't refine our food because our body doesn't know how to process it or digest it. So we have a lot of legumes and pulses and grains, millets, by not processing it, like no maida, no sugar. Absolutely, Just Be is, or my home is, completely zero oil kitchen. We don't use a drop of oil in our food because, again, that is refined. And what I believe is that when we refine our food and eat, fried food or a lot of maida, sugar, we are eating food without fibers. And actually, fibers are the intelligent part in our diet. So we have to change the fad today, what people talk about, that where do I get my protein from, where do we get, and we all are running behind all these names, which are again man-made and discovered by man. But what nature gave us is fibers and nutrients, and nobody talks about, am I taking enough fibers and nutrients? So this is something which we need to, every meal, every bite we have, we need to see whether we have fibers and nutrients. And not the minute you have fibers and nutrients, they will help protein and calcium, everything to generate into our body. And it's as simple as this. Because we are so disconnected with not eating a lot of fibers is where my ailment was the biggest problem. The doctor said, Nidhi, it's genetic, your cholesterols are genetic. Nidhi, your uh, it's the environment, maybe your eating habits. You know, basically, genetics are still the same. I'm still in the same environment. My children, husband, they say sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's exactly the same. But my cholesterol from 300 is 170. That's where I am. And that
Oh,
too without medication. And when I came back, I changed my kitchen. The first thing what I saw was in a month's time, my oldest son, where he suffered for 21 years of his life with asthma. This is in 2016 when I came back from the retreat. And he says, Mom, is this normal the way I'm breathing? Because for a month he hadn't used inhalers, he didn't take anti-allergies and things. And he says, Mom, I don't remember that this is ever, I have ever known this is the way we breathe. So that actually, I cannot tell you, what else a mother wants.
I know.
We all are doing so much work in the kitchen and trying to cook, which I'm seeing so much on Facebook. People are making so many dishes and everybody is in the kitchen cooking. And I love to see that homemade food, I love when
Good.
women get into the kitchen and take charge. I think that's one of the most beautiful gift to the family.
True,
And
true, true.
when my husband's acidity reduced, my in-laws BP and sugar reduced, our belief, not just me but as a family, our belief just grew stronger and stronger. And I think one day my son was going out with his friends, and he says, Mom, I don't feel like eating out. But if I want to go out, or if anybody who's looking for healthy food wants to go out, where do we go? Who serves food with no sugar, no dairy, no butter, no cheese, no milk, no meat,
No
no
oil.
no oil? Now who's going to serve this kind of food? So I think that's when my journey started, and that actually provoked this thought in me that when we don't have something, and if we have the bandwidth to do it, we should just do it. And I
That's
think,
that's That's really inspiring because we go out, we do some courses, and then we come back, and then again we it's like coming back to square one. It is not easy to make it a lifestyle, whatever you have learned. Plus, your family also accepting it and making it their lifestyle. That is also a great thing because it is not easy because food is the central thing of the house, the family, the living, the lifestyle, and changing it so much. Like before that, you must have been eating everything, and changing it to vegan. So that must have been a quite conscious efforts put in, right?
I think, I turned vegan the first day of my retreat. And I didn't go to become a vegan. I just went actually to better my health. And the first day when I spent the whole day and I saw a few documentaries, that day, sometimes, it's like your aha moment. I think I experienced my aha moment by the end of the day. And I saw the documentary, The Earthlings, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't eat this. I can't have any more dairy. I've always been vegetarian, but I said, I can't do that. And I think that has been one of my most um, intelligent, amazing decisions in my life. Because after that, what we have experienced has been, you know, an eye opener for all of us to lead this life. My son saw the movie, and I came back and he saw the documentary, and he says, "Mom, can we just change our kitchen?" That moment he said that. And for a teenager to say that, it's not,
And
for
it's
them
not
it's
easy.
about more partying and fitting in and being included what everybody is eating. But what he had really experienced with his own health. And then that's when we basically I got to know about what veganism was in 2016 June. By October and November, I think I had already started going to friends' place, teaching them how to cook. I started doing these things which I didn't even realize that I was doing. But the only thing I could talk about is, you know what? There's magic in our kitchen. Or we can do wonders from our own kitchen. That's what I brought in, and everybody like, oh my God, talking to Nidhi is like just talking about food. But we made it fun. And by November, we started the construction at Sadashiv Nagar to start the cafe. And I didn't know anything. I don't come from a hospitality industry. I don't know business. I was enjoyed being, my husband always called me a domestic engineer, because I would keep doing some work, like he's an engineer and he's enjoying.
I think that's what works. That's what works for the women because we do it like a mother can do everything, right? So if we do it that way, then it becomes fabulous. Like recently, when we are reading that women presidents and women prime ministers to the countries, those countries are doing so good. So they have
Yes.
beaten the corona. So it is just that mentality of a mother, and a mother can do anything. So, and that's what you have done, I guess. So, I think it was quite effortless for you to change to a vegan because of
Vegan,
your experiences.
so there is a difference between vegan and whole food plant based. So vegan is for ethical reason. Vegan is that, I don't want to harm any animal in any
Mm,
form of my luxury, whether it's eating, wearing, you know, uh, that's
yes,
that's vegan. So I turned vegan the first day. But in the course of time, I turned whole food plant based. That means being vegan, I also took out refined food. I took, sugar and dairy and honey and meat and, oil, especially oil, because, in
fine.
our Indian
Yes,
cooking and the Jain family, we come, ghee and oil, I think every
fine.
food is dipped into it. Even our chapatis will be
Dipped in.
dipped into it. And when I was growing up, my children, they are, bajra khichdis and things. I used to put so much ghee and feed them.
So,
And that's the culture I grew
and
up in.
that's what our elders tell. You are not eating ghee. This is something, some fad you people come up with, and you should eat ghee because that is something Indian things are based upon, right?
Yeah, I think it's, when I give talks, the first debate what people do is, but Krishna used to have it. This is where they take me there.
I know.
I said Krishna had 100 gopis. Now tell me how many of you are going to have 100 gopis? So we need to change. We
So,
need to.
and yes, so people are very here also. You have a lot of questions because this is something I think it's not yet sunk in the Indian mentality. So it's a certain class knows about it. Not everybody, because not eating even dairy food is something very not acceptable for the old people, I guess. And it's great that your family took it so sportingly and they accepted it completely. And you have zero oil kitchen, you are saying. So that is really something.
Yes.
And
I think I
the
feel very,
cafes, yes, yes, tell me.
I said it's that's one of the biggest support which I got from my family, because to do it together, it becomes so interesting. And when we do it with just alone, it's a little challenging, but I was very sure that somebody follows or they don't. My lifestyle is going to be with whole food plant based.
That's great. And so, how did you choose the menu, and how did you come up with your menu card and the dishes that you are giving up at your cafe? And so, do you have like whom did you yourself train your chefs and everybody? Because this is something not everybody can come in and join. You must be giving them training, putting in a lot of efforts. So, how does it go?
Thank you for asking me that question, because that was one of the biggest challenge in my journey when I started. First of all, not knowing about the hospitality industry. I didn't know about. I've never been on social media, initially, and even right now I'm not good. My son and my team, my Just Be family, actually they handle it, and I am not very good. I'm learning. I'm really learning
You
how
are
to.
good at your work, what you are doing. So
Yeah.
there are people to take care of
I'm,
other
I'm, I'm,
things.
I'm actually very privileged. They take care of so well. So the biggest challenge, when I started the cafe, was when I was interviewing some of the chefs. First, I had to learn how to interview. Right? I didn't know what questions to ask also.
What
So
to
that,
ask?
yes, that was one of the biggest challenge. And I used to read up, I used to talk to people, I used to ask some friends, why don't you come and be with me when we do take some interviews? I don't even know whether is he the suitable one or no. So I think most of them, they used to be like, ma'am, why are you opening a cafe? Sugar, butter, cheese, and oil are the main ingredients for us. And uh, this is going to enhance the taste. And you're going to call people to have tasty food. Why would you serve this kind of food? Ma'am, no one will appreciate it. I mean, I know that 90% of the people dismissed my. There are a lot of people, they came for the interview and they never even got back to say, sorry, we are not interested. When they didn't even get back, they were like, forget it, this woman is crazy. We don't know what is she trying to
Crazy.
bring in this hospitality industry. And so one chef, I think Prem Darshan, who was our first chef, when he spoke, and he actually got very intrigued by my passion. Okay, so not by his job, but by my passion. And he says, okay, fine. Are you sure what you're doing? I said, absolutely. There's nothing uh, wrong in starting something. I know I'll be very sad if I have to shut it and if it doesn't work, because, I will be putting this concept, not about me. It's not about, oh, I lost, I failed. It's not about, it's about this concept, to bring this concept uh, for people to know that yes, zero oil food and no sugar food can still be tasty, and it feels good into our body. This is nature's gift. Who is going to promote nature? People are all promoting packaged food, right? Industries
True,
and industries and
true.
industries, and you have psychologists, and you have a team of I don't know how many people who work to do this. And they said, ma'am, I said, I'm promoting him and he will take care of Just Be. This is how I
Wonderful.
started it. And sometimes I really wonder, I never planned that I ever want to open a cafe. Never. I was very happy doing psychology. I loved talking to, especially, I used to go to Christ College in Mount Carmel. I was mentoring there and I loved working with teenagers there. But I think more than me wanting to open the cafe, or doing this work, I believe that I am the chosen one. Believe me, this work is happening just
So
through me.
beautiful.
I'm not doing it.
True.
It's just happening just through me, because I really didn't know anything and I'm still learning. I'm not just saying it, but I really mean it. So the first thing, Prem, for almost a month, I invited him home. I said, why didn't you come home? Because there was construction happening at my cafe. So I said, why don't you just come home and let me make you taste the food. So I started off making dishes at home, and he says, are you sure there's no oil in it? Are you sure that there is no this in it? I said, yes. And for him, it was he was very surprised. He says, we've never come across such cooking. I need to unlearn to learn all of this. So I said, okay, fine. Do you want to really serve conscious food? You've served health, tasty food, what people love. Now we need to create a demand. We need to create a demand by serving it. There's nobody who's demanding healthy food, right food, nature's food. Nobody's demanding it. But we'll take up this. Now let's see what happens in the journey. We didn't know. I just jumped into it, just with deep belief. Believe me, what I really knew, and I had was just belief. This is
And
the
the
way.
purity of your, I think the purity of your heart, and you really wanted to give something good and something nutritious and something godly to the people. So this is not easy. What you are doing is totally not easy, because there are not skilled people. Because if you're opening a cafe, you'll get a lot of people who have worked in the hospitality, who know about the food, who know recipes. But this is something like, if you want to even uh, substitute your current group of people or the chefs, it will be very difficult for you. So training them and everything, and there are a lot of people, they have a lot of questions for you. First, I would like to ask you, like, you have already told that you had your spouses, your family support. So, which is very important when a woman at this age or this stage of life coming up with something new, and putting in investing money, investing energy, investing talent. It's not easy without, and it's not happening, it doesn't happen without your family support. So it's very important for a woman especially to have that support, which you got, I guess, and you're blessed with that.
I just want to add to that. I know that I got the support because I supported them with very tasty food at home. And they
True.
believed that, okay, fine, we can. They're not deprived of anything. So there's a little effort which, and the best part is, families don't come in the kitchen. This is a tip for everybody. When we want to make a shift in our life, in our kitchen, and how mothers and women are, when they see something good and healthy, and anything which is going to be very beneficial for a family, the first thing is we go and tell them, you know what, this is very good and you should make a change. And they get so petrified. Believe me, we don't know what is she going to bring now, but I don't know what is she learn and what is she hear and what did this friend tell her. We don't know.
Some friend must have told her something and she's come up with this.
So this is such a natural behavior of a mother or a woman, or if you say, so what happens is that I used to cook something, and my son would be like, oh really, mom, there's no oil? Yeah, there's no, but just eat. If you don't like it, stop. I used to make both the dishes initially. I used to make the regular way and the my way. I said, see, this is my food and this is for y'all. But I saw slowly that they all started enjoying what I used to eat. And the way we look at, oh, healthy food, we have to change our language, and we have to say, thank God it's healthy. We used to go to the restaurant, and I was very, very determined that I get the food what I
I
want.
think there is some issue with the network.
And I would go to the restaurant, call the chef, and that time I had not decided um, what in the kitchen. I didn't know. Now I know. And when I get a special request, I know how challenging it is. But I used to go to the restaurant, I used to call the chef and I used to say, you know what? If I say I don't eat it, they don't understand. I am allergic to these things. Can you make it like that for me? I need a very simple dish, but I want it my way. Honestly, they used to really do that for me. And I would say I really, really appreciate it. So, what I really understood is that we just need to demand, and the supply will start. We don't demand, we eat, and we have eaten whatever is served, whatever is given. How is it made, what has gone into it. We're not even aware of it to make the right choices, or even to know what we need to demand sometimes. But we need to read well, we need to understand. And I would say all the audience who's here and who's going to be watching this, that please read about whole food plant-based and give a chance to whole food plant-based food, which you can do in your own kitchen. I'm not saying this because you need to come to my cafe. No, I'm saying that you can make this change in your own kitchen, and you can do miracles with food. And soon you will use the same line as I use every day: let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Hypocrites,
True.
his quote, that's like my mantra today.
Very true. So it is like reversal of your diseases, your ailments through food, which is very important. And I think no doctor will tell you this, that you can when you go, like if you speak to someone who is suffering from cancer or something, if you ask them, did the doctor tell you what diet to take, how to take the diet, what to include, they say no. They just tell us this much medicines, the chemotherapy, and whatever the injections, whatever the surgery is. So food is the medicine is really very important line. The very it's underlined. So lot many people are talking about this.
So doctor, when
Yes,
you
tell
talk
me.
about doctors, it is we have Dr. Bhujang Shetty, a very renowned doctor for eyes in Bangalore. I don't know if you know about him, running Narayan Mitralay. And he turned into whole food plant-based. And when we talk to many doctors, this is one thing they say, that we have done the course and studied for almost 6 or 7 years to be doctors. And they said we have one chapter on nutrition, and that too which is not even important. And I was surprised. I said, really, doctor, but how can that be? you know they said we are trained to learn the names of the medicines, the
Medicines.
components which are going to go into the medicine. We have to mug that. So I think we need to really bring a very big shift in our education system when we are growing up. When we have biology, we need to learn about food. When we need to learn geography, and we need to learn about our local food. Yeah, what is grown in our end, we
True,
need to eat that. But we learn everything
true.
besides. And which is one of the most important is self-care and self-love, which happens while eating good, eating right. A clean body has a clean mind. But everybody is cleaning their mind,
Very
everybody is doing meditation, everybody is doing depression, and they're going to psychologists. Without cleaning your body, how will our mind clean? So we need to first clean our body to actually have. We've never heard a quote saying clean your mind to have a clean body. Nobody says that. They say clean your body so you'll have a clean mind. So
true,
these
true.
are very little things, which can make a
So
little
this
shift
is the
in our.
holistic approach on which you're working at your cafe. And I would like to know about the sound healing as well, which you are doing. So are you yourself doing, or you are taking workshops and inviting someone? So how does it go?
So I have actually, I and one of my colleague, Kirti, we went to Auroville, and that's where we learned the sound healing concept. So what a sound healing is, we have usually seen the gong, right? People use the gong for the sound healing. When I went to in 2009, once when I had visited Auroville, I came across this space called Swaram, run by an
Okay.
I think he's an Austrian, Aurelio. He runs it. So he's adopted around 16 families, and they make instruments, and they make instruments just sound like nature. Everything inspired by nature, whether it's water sound. So my sound healing room has around 30 to 40 to 45 instruments in that room, and
Wow.
each one, when it's played, it resonates with the rattling of the leaves, the sound in the jungle, the waves, the water, the thundering, the lightning, the gongs. And so when I went there in 2009, I was mesmerized with the whole experience. I was mesmerized, and I told my husband, I said, you know what, I want this in my home, because at that time I didn't know I'm ever going to open a space. Or I said, I want this in my home. And we were building our home, so we actually made a space where we would be putting up all these instruments. And we said, why don't we both do it to each other? We'll learn how to do it, and we'll do it for each other. That's how this whole concept came in. But in 2015 and 16, when cafe came up, and in 16, I always had in mind that I want to have the sound healing over here, because sound, we're so away from nature, and we're in this concrete jungle where we don't listen to the sound. And we have to be practical. We don't have the bandwidth. We don't, there's no space. There's hardly any nature left around us. So this actually opens up all the chakras. Our traumas are blocked in our bodies. When we sit in nature, it heals. The sound, the green, the color, all of this contribute in healing, but we don't get time to do that. So we brought this concept here, and we're seeing the result, is amazing. So I don't do it. I don't get the time because I'm a consultant. I train my chefs in the kitchen. I am doing the menu up. So I don't get time. I have Kirti, who's actually she's also a trained therapist. We both went together to get trained there, and she's amazing. She even brings humming along with sound over there. And I hear people say that, I feel as if I'm in the womb. I feel people saying that, I feel as if I'm floating. I feel as if, I'm not in my body. These are the experience which I hear people saying, and it's not that frightening, but it's very, very healing.
It's kind of a meditation, right?
Yeah.
And where all your chakras open up, and then it's a divine feeling, I guess. So I have never done that, but yes, it is beautiful. Whenever I'll visit Bangalore, I'll definitely come there for this.
You have to.
And
You have to come to Just to Be to
yes,
experience how
for
to just to be.
yes, yes, yes. I need that time, just to be time. So